I've been on this journey for over 30 years, and I've studied many great philosophers. I've read, gosh, I think hundreds of books. For me, it really is my life experience that makes the difference. After reading, studying, and exploring who I am, why I am the way I am. Today, I'd like to talk about consciousness and conditioning. So, what is conditioning? Conditioning is something, it's what's been, you've been taught and trained how to behave, how to act in your life. And conditioning starts from even before we're born, but we do know that from the ages of just as you're born to 7 years old, your brain waves are in theta. And what theta is, it's that it puts you, you're in a hypnotic state. So everything that you see, hear, experience is automatically received. There's no gatekeeper. Everything goes in, and your mind is wired. Your brain is conditioned from the experiences that you have from that stage. And it goes on after that, of course, into adulthood. So conditioning is something that is in our subconscious, and we live day-to-day lives not realizing how this affects us. So how I see it in my life, I've been living someone else's life. I've been living the life that my parents, teachers, educators, society, environment has been conditioning me for over all these years. And, it's been something I think we all live with. And we have to realize that we don't want to live other people's lives. We want to live our lives. The first thing we need to do is be aware that we've been conditioned. And what conditioning is, it's beliefs that you have, and you live by these beliefs, you defend these beliefs. And what we try to find out is this really true? Is this who I am? Are these beliefs mine? Are they reasonable? So when you start to do that self-inquiry, you realize that these beliefs are nonsense. And once you realize a belief is nonsense, it's done. It's no longer belief for you. You go back into your childhood to now, you look and see how you've been conditioned and how your beliefs reflect your life today. A lot of people struggle with abundance. They think that money is hard to come by. These are things that were taught to us as kids. If you think back to what maybe you heard from your parents, your friends, or from other people around you, that it was hard to come by, money doesn't grow on trees. So these things got stuck in there. And, if you even go deeper, it really has nothing to do with scarcity. It really is, I don't feel I deserve abundance in all these ways. And that's what you've been told. So we can see why you feel like that. But when you start to see that abundance is around you everywhere, you look at the people who have a lot of financial abundance, and it's everywhere. And the difference between those people who have financial abundance and those who don't is their beliefs. If you start to change those beliefs, you will see things around you start to change. Now, it takes a little more than just changing a belief. You start to realize that the belief is something you've been given. You believe it as truth. And you start to realize, this is not true. I'm more than this. I do deserve it. You can feel it. It's a feeling you have inside. And that feeling starts in the heart. So once you start to feel that in your heart, and you're not using just your mind as logic from what you've been programmed, you use that heart to talk with the mind to change that wiring. So you start to feel it. You start to feel, you know what? I can see there's abundance around me everywhere. And I can feel that this belief that I have is not true. So when those thoughts come up in your daily life, something happens, a bill turns up, something breaks and you need to fix it. Our first thought is that conditioned belief. Gosh, things are hard. Where am I going to get the money to pay for this? No, change it. These things happen. They're happening for me. They're not happening to me. So you change those beliefs by practicing it. Give it a try. You'll see that once you practice, all right, you know what? This thing happened and I'm going to believe that it's happening for me, and I'm just going to not use that belief. I'm going to feel into this, that this is for me. Something good is going to come out of this, something, better. So you're changing your perspective. And once that perspective starts to change, your belief changes, and your whole world starts to change. And you'll feel it. You'll see it. It'll reflect. Our world is a mirror. We look at in front of us and we see what is going on, what it's reflecting back to us. And if it's somehow it's a lack of abundance, that don't have a lot of money, or I lack money, or I lack relationships, or I lack health, all these things are just mirroring back to you of the beliefs that are not true, the beliefs that have been given to you, and it reflects out to the universe, and it just comes back to you. So what you're reflecting from those beliefs and those thoughts is what you're going to see. And once you start changing that and you start seeing the truth, and it's not about positive thinking, it's about what the truth really is. There's abundance everywhere. So you want to keep awareness on that, focus on it, do your self-inquiry, look and see this belief, I can see it, it's not true. And when you do start to practice the truth, you will see the results. You'll see it mirroring back to you. And yes, there'll be times you'll fall back and you'll say, oh gosh, why is it so hard? Why is, abundance, am I lacking abundance now? And then go back again and see that, go do self-inquiry, see, why do I feel like that? Oh, I remember my parents, or I heard teachers talking about that, or whatever it is, that it was hard to come by. And the truth is, now it's not. So let me give it to the universe. Let me trust and see what's going to happen. And that trust, it will build. You'll trust the universe more and more as you practice more and more. Because the universe loves you. God loves you. The source loves you. So you'll see it'll be mirrored right back to you. You will not want to go back to those old beliefs. First step is awareness. Do your self-inquiry. See that I've been conditioned. These beliefs are not mine. They've been given to me. I am not these beliefs. And take it one by one. Start with small ones. Start with some beliefs you might have, that just to start small and see how it goes. And it small or big, it's all the same. It mirrors back. It doesn't matter how big or important it is to you. And you have to detach from these things. When, you can't be attached to it, because when you become attached to anything, you're narrowing your focus, and that is only one way for things to happen. And once you start to detach, there's infinite possibilities, and that's what the quantum field is about. It's about the infinite possibilities. We can stop thinking in this narrow-minded way. We can open to the universe and see how many blessings and possibilities there are. So we got to let that go. Let go the way we think it should happen. You can do that, but you're just limiting yourself to the way you think it can happen. The universe has infinite ways for it to happen. And you'll see that. You'll start to experience these infinite possibilities. You'll start to see things, gosh, I'd never thought of that. Look how this is unfolding for me. I didn't think of that. This is wonderful. And, you got to keep that perspective positive. Not just positive thinking, but keep your perspective positive, because that's what it is. It is really good stuff. And yes, there's a lot of stuff that goes on in our life. It's like waves, highs and lows. So we've all heard of vibration and energy, and that's what we are. So sometimes we are resonating at a high level, and that's when you're more open to seeing the infinite possibilities. When you are in a lower level of resonance, you tend to see more of the negative. You tend to see less possibilities. You're more narrow-minded. So it's just a cycle. It's going to happen, and you're going to come out one cycle and go into the next. So what you try to do is you stay in peace in those lower resonating sectors, and just stay in peace. Use some tools. You can meditate. You can breathe. Don't, try not to focus on it as it being a bad thing. It's not bad. It's just a different cycle. And then once you're up in that up cycle, you're inspired. Everything goes, it flows, and you can connect your heart and your mind, and you have that coherence, and coherence just brings in, it attracts exactly what you want in life, and it just makes life so much happy, so much peaceful. Coherence brings that state of peace, love, joy. It's just a wonderful place. We've all experienced it in very short periods, maybe brief, some more than others. But as you go and you practice and you go on this life path, you'll start to experience that more and more. And you wouldn't want to be incoherent. And when you're incoherent, you feel it, you're aware. And again, we use the tools to just get through those stages. But it's not just getting through, it's experiencing those stages where they are. And experience them from a place of peace, a place of, let me see if I can understand what's going on here. So that's where self-inquiry goes on. If you do your self-inquiry when you're in those stages, and it helps you to let go of those beliefs and those things, you start to see clearer. So that's where clarity starts to come in. When you start to, look at the beliefs, give the universe a chance to show you. So when you start to do self-inquiry, your mind gets clearer. You start to see why, where did the belief come from? Where was I conditioned in this way? And when you start to see where it came from, you realize, you know what? I could change this. Let me practice. And you replace it with another belief, something that you believe is true. So most of the times it's quite opposite. So if you believe in that relationships are hard to come by, and it may be an experience from your past that, you've been conditioned, or it could have happened from whatever experiences you've had. You've attracted certain relationships from the past, and in the past, I see why I attracted these people, and they mirrored what I was resonating at and the beliefs that I had. So do the self-inquiry, and once you start to do that, you'll start to attract much better relationships with friends, with intimate relationships. So just once you start to open up your awareness, there's no going back. You just know, I'm starting to see the light. I can do this. I can really, it's starting to feel good. I want to experience more of this. And that's what's going to happen. You're going to experience more and more of these wonderful things. And even in the times when you're not feeling all that great, okay, I'll be kind to myself, and I will take it easy, and I'll go slow, and I'll go through the cycle, and then we go and get inspired, and you start to see the whole process go into this wonderful place. Just to recap there a little bit, conditioning it comes from birth to the time. Even now, if you haven't seen it yet, you see. I mean, I'm still going through stuff that I realize, gosh, I've been conditioned to believe certain things. So you will be dealing with those throughout your life. But the fact is, you're here at this spot now. You realize that you've been conditioned. These beliefs belong to others. They are not mine. I'm going to question everything, and I'm going to do my self-inquiry. I am going to be patient with myself. I'm going to become open up to the stuff that I am, and you're going to see so much love for yourself. And once you have that love for yourself, you have love for the world. So it starts with you. It starts with you just go there and practice, go inside. The thoughts are there, and these are conditioned thoughts, and they're always going to be running in your mind, passing through it, like I don't know if you've heard it before, but it looks like clouds passing in the sky. And if you could just observe it and just look and see, okay, it's just thoughts, that's okay. Key is not to get entangled in the thoughts. Just look at them, and if you get entangled in the thoughts, it's just going to go down that rabbit hole, and we're all going to do it. Become aware. Oh gosh, I just went down that rabbit hole. Let me step back here. Let me take a few deep breaths. Let me do some practices that we will talk about that can help for you to come back to that place of peace, and not keep those thoughts controlling your life. You take control now. And there's so much here. There's so much that you have control of everything. You have control of your health, wealth. If you want to be happy, peaceful, joyful, you have that control. There are things beyond our control, but you can just let that go. Give it to the universe and just stay in peace with all that it is. And you will be happy, peaceful, healthy, abundant, and joyful. As I go on in these videos, we'll be talking about that and just sharing my experiences, sharing what I've learned. It's been over 30 years and it's made such a difference to my life. There's so much that I've gone through. We all have these stories you'll see are not just my stories, they're yours too. They may look different, but it's the same story. And we are to the point where we want to change these beliefs and open life to such a peaceful, joyful place. I look forward to sharing that with you and go forward together. And I'm so excited about sharing these things because I've experienced it and I know what it feels like. And it's something I've been led to share and something I want to. I think if people who are here, they're ready to make those changes, and I can help you with that, guide you to see where it's going to go. And as I say, just try it, just practice. Just the first thing, become aware and just understand clearly that all these beliefs are past conditioning and it's not yours. So I look forward to spending time with you guys and just sharing what I know. Thank you.